juliusxx here. This weekend I'm going up to Yosemite National Park, which is approximately 4.5 hours away from LA. And so the reason why I'm going in particular is because I've always wanted to go and check it out. It's a must-do. But what happens in the month of February is something called Yosemite Firefall. You've probably seen photos of it where there's this glowing like lava falling down from one of the mountains in Yosemite. So this year it's actually happening again. I don't know why I said again like that, but it's happening again. And the only reason why it happens is because the conditions have to be perfect for this to happen. So just to give you a little bit of background, and if you don't want to listen to this and you want to get right to the falls, I would say fast forward about 2 minutes at the 2-minute mark or 3-minute mark. But anyways, so the Yosemite Firefall was this occasion that happened in the 1800s, like the 1890s or 1880s or something, where they would push fire down the mountain to have fire, like a firefall. And over the years, the people in leadership at the reserve kind of made up or kind of figured that it's bad for the environment, it's also not natural, and we should probably stop this. So in the 1960s, I believe, or 1970s, the last manufactured firefall happened. And the ones that are happening nowadays are all natural. And so what happens is, at the top of the mountain, the conditions have to be right. So the snow at the top has to melt, which comes down the falls, and at a certain time of sunset, the light shines just right onto the waterfalls to make it look like lava or fire. And so that natural occurrence doesn't happen all the time. I think it happens usually around February. I don't know if it's yearly or not, but this natural occurrence has only been found out within the last few years after the 1970s. And so even going back as far as Native Indians or tribal writings of the area, there is no recollection or no writing of the natural firefall. And even going back a few years back, like in the 80s or 70s or whatever, people like Westerners that discovered the Yosemite don't even talk about natural falls. So it's a rather recent occurrence. And so because of COVID, they restricted tickets within the National Reserve Park. So only 500 tickets were made available, I think weekly. And so I woke up this morning and I'm trying to get into the queue to get tickets. I'm refreshing my browser, refreshing. And lo and behold, I ended up getting tickets. So I'm really stoked. It's been one of the things I've wanted to do for a while. And now is the perfect time to do it because of the firefalls. And so I'm going tomorrow to take that trek up there. And hopefully the conditions are right, and hopefully I get to see it with my own eyes. But even if not, Yosemite itself, the park and all the different hiking trails and everything you get to do up there, it's still going to be a blast. So hang with me for a bit, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we get to see the firefalls.
Can be to love and be loved.
Hey, so I finally made it to Yosemite National Park. I'm staying right now in a place called Yosemite West, but driving from LA to Yosemite at 7 p.m. all the way until 12:30 a.m. was hella dangerous. I probably wouldn't recommend it, but anyways, I got here. But the crazy part about driving in Yosemite at nighttime is that all the roads are winding and there's very little barriers on the sides or railings on the sides. So if you make one small mistake, game over, man. So it was just really nerve-wracking to do that late at night. In addition to that, there's lots of snow around here, and last night when I was driving on those windy roads, there was ice all over the road. You can see in the footage that I'm putting up right now, but that also added some element of fear to everything. But I'm good now. I made it safely, It's daytime. It's 3 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's not that cold, coming from a Canadian at least. So I'm on my way to Tunnel View. I heard that the view is really mind-blowing. So hopefully once we get there, my mind will be blown and I can show you guys some cool views. Check back in a second.
In 600 meters, turn left. Turn left. Then, you will arrive at your destination. You've arrived.
So there you have it. I ended up seeing the Yosemite Firefall in 2021. That 5-hour drive from LA and that 5.5-hour wait at the base of Horsetail Fall was well worth it. And when I say 5-hour wait, the reason being is because there are different angles and different sites to see the firefall. You can probably find pictures online of different angles and different exposures and different whatever. But depending on where you were standing at the Horsetail Fall, you would have a certain perspective of the firefall. And honestly, I'm not sure if it came across properly via the videos, but in person, it is just such a vibe and like well worth that trek. I honestly put it up there with Niagara Falls and the Grand Canyon. It was just that beautiful. It actually brought a tear to my eye. I'm not even gonna lie about that. It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, actually. And the way in which it starts slowly and then just all of a sudden, boom, it's visible. And then how it kind of just, but every minute just fades away. It's well worth seeing. And if you're in California, or if you're not even in California, it's well worth a drive up to, or a plane ride up to Yosemite in California to see it yourself. And I'm just really happy to have experienced it. And as a side note, there's a channel that Californians are aware of called California's Gold, which is hosted by Huell Hauser, who passed away a few years ago from prostate cancer. But what this guy did is he would go to different places in California and he would use his Tennessee charm and his engaging interview style to interview different Californians in different areas of the state. And one of the places he went to is Yosemite, and he had a chance to actually interview people that saw the old school firefall, the manufactured one, but they were all just glowing and reminiscing and tearing, and I now finally understand that sentiment and that feeling. And honestly, I thought about going to all the different places that Huell Hauser has been, just to kind of give respect for him, because he's been in great places, especially here in LA, but in all California, he just really brought spotlight to the unsung and unknown areas of the state. And really, dude, rest in peace, Huell Hauser. I did this for you. And hopefully I get to do more of his excursions and activities as I continue making videos here in California. So if you like that idea and if you want to see more of those, please consider subscribing if you like the video, or just drop me a like, or don't let me tell you what to do. Do what you gotta do. But as long as you had a good time watching this video, then I'm happy. Alright, catch you in the next one.
Which was a California classic that generations of people, you know, visited and saw, which stopped. So you've got generations of people who love seeing the firefall on one of our programs because it reminded them of their youth and of wonderful memories from their, you know, days growing up in California. How many people have seen the firefall? You're kidding. You're kidding. When?
1954.
You were here in 1954.
Yes.
You saw it.
Yes.
Was it as wonderful as everybody?
Yes, and everyone waited down below until it came down, and it was beautiful.
Could you hear them yelling back and forth?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
You saw it.
Yelled many times, "Let the fire falls."
But you do it pretty well.
Oh, it was a fun night.
How did they do that again? Lord!
I hear your eyes.
The fire! Fall!
Great suspense. And then there'd be a response.
The fire is falling.